And I'm Buck, and we are nomadic in nature.
Today we are going to be talking about our first Thousand Trails park that we stayed at, which is Pio Pico, located just outside San Diego, California.
Yep, right. So the park is broken up into two different areas. You have the north side and the south side. The south side is where you go whenever you first get there. It has the ranger station, and that's where you go to do all your registration. After you get done with your registration, they actually have you turn around and then go back to the north side of the park. The north side, unfortunately, does not have any sewer connections, so every day they actually hold a lottery at like 11 or 12 o'clock at the Southside Ranger Station that you can enter the lotto, and hopefully within a few days your name gets called and you can move over to the south side where you would actually have sewer hookups.
So while we were at Pio Pico, we ended up staying the whole time on the north side. And a little bit about the condition of the RV park. So while we were there, we did lose electricity 2 times, and that was due to them updating the electrical panel.
Yep.
And then we did have a time where we had no water, and that was due to a water main break.
Yep. Yeah, right outside of our RV, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Nice river running right in the middle of our RV.
So Buck is going to cover some pros of the RV park, and then I will talk about some of the cons of the RV park.
So the park is located very, very close to San Diego. It's only maybe 8 to 10 miles to the south of San Diego, which there are an absolute ton of things to do in San Diego, right? You can Google San Diego and you have SeaWorld, you have the animal parks, the zoo, but the one thing that we really came for was the beach. Being in the middle of wintertime, we really wanted to go to San Diego and sit on the beach and not have to worry about any snow or cold weather.
And we are going to be releasing a video called The Top Free Things to Do in San Diego. So now on to the cons. So number 1, top on both of our lists, was there was no Wi-Fi. Limited cell coverage. We have Verizon, and even with a booster, we were not able to pick up any signal at all.
No cell signal whatsoever.
While we were talking to a lot of people who do stay at Pio Pico a lot, they did say that AT&T does work there. That works on the south side, but it only works in certain areas on the south side.
Very small pieces of the south side. Yep.
Another con was a lot of the buildings are older and they're a little run down. They don't do a lot of maintenance on the buildings as well.
No.
And along with not having any Wi-Fi service, we really didn't get any TV stations as well. So
No, not at all. We fired up the antenna. I think we got like 25 stations. All of them were in Spanish except for maybe 1 or 2.
Another con is the north side has no sewer, so we didn't see that as an issue for us, so that's why we just went ahead and stayed on the north side. So as we headed over to the north side, the ranger did tell us to watch for signs as the boxes would be taped up if the electric was not working.
Right, and unfortunately there were quite a few of those, and mostly the pull-through sites, which was weird. The back ends, it seemed like the electrical was good on most of those, but all the nice pull-through sites in the middle, there were only a handful that actually had working electrical boxes.
It took them about 2 to 3 hours when we were out of electricity to fix the boxes, so they did get some up and running, so that was a plus to them working on the electrical boxes. So we do want you to stay tuned to the end of the video, because while we were in San Diego, it rained a lot, and on Valentine's Day...
Of course, on Valentine's Day, had a pretty major flood. So we put that footage on the end of the video, so stay tuned and you can see the great Valentine's Day flood.
on Valentine's Day, and it had been raining, so we decided to go in for lunch. And after we had a nice lunch, we went to the library since, we didn't have any Wi-Fi there. We needed to get caught up on some work and some of that. So we went to the library, and while we were at the library, we noticed it was raining, but we really didn't think too much about it.
No, it's San Diego. We assumed that they could handle the rain, and it just all washes into the ocean, or so we thought.
So, I think it was about 7 p.m. that night. We decided, well, let's head back to our RV and just cook a nice dinner for Valentine's Day, and started heading back, and traffic stopped.
Yeah, just completely stopped. Several miles away from the RV resort, unfortunately, out kind of in the middle of nowhere.
So luckily there we did get cell service, so I started looking to see what was going on. Couldn't really find anything why the road was closed, so I went ahead and called the ranger station at Pio Pico, and that is when the ranger informed us that the main bridge area to go down into Pio Pico was flooded, and so we wouldn't be able to get in, but she didn't really know how long. She thought maybe it could be a day, a couple hours. I mean, she really had no idea how long it would take.
Yeah, no, not at all. She did, however, unfortunately tell us that a couple of years ago they had flooding as well, and access to the park was completely closed off for 2 to 3 days, unfortunately. So we were a little bit scared on what we might find.
And us being hopeful, I mean, it is an RV park where tons of people are staying. We were pretty hopeful, so we thought, hey, let's go back to Starbucks where there's Wi-Fi, do some work, and we can wait it out a couple hours, and hopefully the water will go down and we can make it back to our home.
Yeah, and it had actually stopped raining while we were at Starbucks, so we thought, oh, within, an hour or two, everything should go down and we should be able to cross the areas that were flooding. So we pretty much headed out again. We were able to actually cross the first bridge this time. It was actually low enough. And we got to the turn to where you go into Pio Pico, and we just ran into like road closed signs. But we figured the road looked okay, so we went ahead and just kind of drove around the signs. And driving into the park actually wasn't that bad. And we got there, and there's a parking lot that's fairly close to the RV park that we were able to turn off. We saw a whole bunch of other cars parked there, so we just assumed that that's where everybody was coming into. And just kind of walking into the park.
So once we parked, we went ahead and walked down to the first area. We were able to cross the pedestrian bridge, which is located over by the family pool. So we headed over past the ranger station, and the ranger stopped us and asked us, what we were doing and where we were parked. So we let her know that we were staying on the north side. And that's when she informed us that there was another bridge going to the north side, and that one was flooded as well. Yeah,
which is the only way to get into the North Park. You have to drive over just this bridge. It's not even very big, but the bridge itself had actually flooded. There was water that was 2 or 3 feet above the bridge, and it was moving very fast. So we knew that we couldn't walk across it on foot. I don't think we could have taken a vehicle across it either. And the entire time that we were there, nobody was taking a vehicle across it either.
So the ranger was really nice, wanted to know if we had anywhere to stay, which we didn't because, our home is on the other side. So we ended up staying at a cabin that's located on the south side. So that night we probably got, I'd say 3 to 4 hours of sleep.
Not much sleep.
We were a little bit worried about our cat Ramsey. It was getting a little cold, but we know that he can handle a lot, so we were a little worried, but we knew that he would be okay.
Mm-hmm. So that morning we went back over to the bridge, and the water had subsided at least to the point where you could walk across it and take a vehicle across it. So we went through, and there was quite a bit of flooding on that north side. Luckily for us, our RV was kind of at the higher side of the park. So we didn't have any flooding. There wasn't any water that was up to the RV, and everything actually looked pretty normal.
Yeah, so we were happy to be back, and I can say that was a very memorable Valentine's Day. And we were just thankful, though, too, that we did have somewhere to stay, and our RV was okay, and of course our cat Ramsey, he wasn't too happy that we were gone all night. But
no, not at all. But yeah, everything turned out fine. So it probably took a good 24 hours or so before the water actually receded to the point where they actually started to allow just normal traffic to go through the Pio Pico area.
I hope you enjoyed our review about Pio Pico, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.